Leslie,
Here.
Jalen, Haas,
Here.
Talawanimi,
Here.
Luis, Manuel, Merve,
Here.
Shannon,
Here.
Anthony,
Here.
David Stevens,
Here.
Daniel, Edmund Gayton,
Here.
Carmen,
Here.
Jared,
Here.
Nicolette,
Here.
Jessica,
Here.
Amaya,
Here.
James,
Here.
Taylor,
Here.
Jocelyn.
Here.
Okay. Okay, moving on. Can someone approve the minutes?
So moved.
Okay, also approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Okay, so instead of doing swearing of the senators right now, we're gonna wait for Ali to get back to do that. So we're gonna have the OIE workshop. So we're gonna hand it over to them now.
Real quick, I'm gonna move everybody to a breakout room and then we can get started. That way we're not on the live.
Sorry about all the Zoom hopping, y'all. I know it's like, whoa, we're just jumping back and forth.
And Austin, I'm not sure if you're gonna be in charge of the breakout rooms, but we would only need 15 minutes in the breakout rooms and then coming back together
Gotcha. That's definitely, we can do that.
as a heads up. So yeah, just 15 minutes in the breakout rooms.
Just making sure that everybody get an invite. The interpreters, you don't have to go to those. I just want to make sure.
Hello, everybody. I'm just waiting for more people to come into the main session.
And as we're waiting for folks to join, as a heads up, Katera is going to close us out with a mural, but we're going to ask some questions of you all before we get to that. Because I know we want to be mindful of time and knowing that you all still have business to conduct. So we will be closing shortly with you all. It looks like we might have everybody back based off participation number. So now that you all have done your breakout rooms and we're here together, is there any takeaways or something that really stood out to you in your breakout room that you wanted to share with the larger group, something that you might have learned or something that you're thinking about still that you feel we would benefit from?
Jared said something along the lines of like validating other people's identities when you're approaching situations. That stood out to me because I feel like a lot of people don't really pay attention to like someone else's identity when they feel offended, but then like I feel like you should look at both sides before you pass the judgment, if that makes sense.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Irving.
Does anyone else have a takeaway or something that they're still thinking about or processing or want to share to the larger group? And as I shared with my particular breakout room, as you all as we're here together and you all are SGA representatives, thinking about the invisible chair in the room, who's missing, whose voice isn't being heard, and being mindful of that when you are thinking about policy, procedures, any kind of change on campus, how you represent yourself, how do you want to represent the voices of students that aren't there. So that was just something that I wanted to make sure that we were thinking about, and especially you all within your roles, because you do have power within your voices. And knowing that students can come to you and know that they will be heard, regardless how they might identify. So just being mindful of that. If there isn't any other takeaways or nothing else to be shared, I'm going to go ahead and let Katera close us out with a mural one more time.
Thank you, Daisy. That was beautifully said. I had posted the link again into the chat for the mural app, but the last question for the mural was, what's next after this debrief? So now that we discussed different identities and discussed, ways to implement them in UNCG in our small groups, what's next after the debrief? What can we do individually as students and together as student government body, to make UNCG more inclusive?
And once again, if the mural app is not working for you or you don't really want to use it, feel free to share like either in the chat box in the Zoom call, or like you can unmute and share with us as well. We would love to hear some of your answers.
And we know UNCG is really focusing on our campus climate and making sure students belong here. So we're just really curious to know within your roles, how can you make UNCG welcoming to other students? How do we make UNCG inclusive? And knowing that you all have power as SGA representatives, what you intend to use that power.
So far we've listened to each other. That's something that we can start now, listen to different perspectives, listen to different viewpoints. and just being, having an open ear to those that don't identify as us or those who identities we don't know much about. One person put magnifying the voices of students and I guess I would say marginalized individuals. That's also a great way. And that could be done either through programming, of course, like elections, asking who's in the room, whose, voice is not being heard, or how would certain policies impact, those that aren't in the room. Someone added more to theirs, listen to each other and hear what others are truly saying. If it doesn't make sense, work to understand. Yes. At the end of the day, it's all about understanding and respect.
And I want to just like go off that front really quickly. And I appreciate whoever wrote that, because this work is, it is difficult because it's like a lot of things that maybe you don't know, maybe things that you don't really feel comfortable like with talking about because it's just something that you're not really used to. But this work is meant to be uncomfortable because like you're gonna be in SGA, your job is to be the advocate for students, and some of those students you have no like salient identity connection with. So not saying it's your job, but like as like the SGA representative for like that body of student, it's your responsibility as you take on this role in these like positions to be advocates for those students who may not feel that they are seen or heard by the institution, or may not be seen or heard by administrators who are in charge. And like, how can you then use your role in SGA to further that conversation and bring those voices onto the table? Whether that is through like town halls or programs like Katera mentioned, et cetera, et cetera. So shout out to whoever put that. That was fire.
Thank you for that, Jason. Great input. Also remember, you don't have to write on the mural. You can also just type it in the chat or unmute yourself and speak. But what's next?
And I know like this isn't on the mural, but I like posed to my breakout room, what are some like blind spots that you all have seen like within like this year of in your administration? Like what are some areas maybe that you may have like not advocated hard enough for a student group or population, and like moving forward, are there ways that you can like mend that, or is that something that you feel like has to get pushed on to next year? Like what are some of those like blind spots that you think you can move moving forward, like SGA can tackle or do better at for the rest of like the term you all have in this administration?
Someone put furthering educating myself along with my peers, as we can never stop learning how to advocate for others. That is very true. Whoever put that, you can never stop learning.
I want to read Ali's contribution to the chat, reaching out to groups outside of our own identities, engaging in conversation with all on campus, and following through with events to empower them. I definitely full-heartedly agree with all the statements that were just said. So thank you, Ali. And I really, sorry, Katera.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to like really emphasize like that first point that Ali mentioned of like reaching out to groups outside of our own identities. I feel like it's really easy to kind of stay in like our like silos of like what we like, who we identify with in like our community, but sometimes you need to, in order to do the work necessary to make sure everyone is being like heard and involved in these conversations, being that person to like be willing to step out of like your comfort zone and go into space that you may not feel, not saying you belong, but like saying like you are not like the main like words, like you're not like the star of that show, but like you are trying your best to like help and empower and encourage outreach to this group of students or colleagues in order to like better their their lives on campus, whether that be through legislation or through policy making, et cetera, et cetera.
another person also wrote, advocate for more students that may not be on campus. So thinking about those that don't live on campus, those that are commuters, and how they're impacted by certain policies and certain things that could be implemented or are being implemented. Thank you guys for sharing. I believe we're kind of pressed on time, but I just want to, thank everybody for sharing and being interactive with us today. Again, with OIE, I believe Daisy or Justin are going to put up our slide again with all the information on it, the resources.
Yeah, Jason, if you could just put that up one more time. Excellent. So you all brought up amazing points on how we can continue this conversation. Hopefully you all have some work to do as SGA senators and representatives. But if you ever need any help or want to dialogue more about any of these topics, we're here for you as an office to engage with whatever needs you may have. So please feel free to stop by. You could call us or email us. And just as a reminder, we do have different kinds of programs. If you enjoyed having these dialogues, there's dialogues that we hold on a monthly basis. There's different types of programs. If you want to learn more about a certain identity that you may not hold, anything that we could do for you, we are here. Or if you have any ideas or would like to collaborate as SGA with OIE, we would love to do that. So thank you again for your time this evening. We really appreciated you all being so brave and sharing your thoughts. And we hope to work with you all in the future. Thanks again for your time.
Thank you all, Jason, Katera, and Daisy. We appreciate all of your time. I know I showed a bit late. I had a test I had to finish, but we definitely all do appreciate your time and the conversation that we had today.
No problem. Enjoy the rest of your meeting. Have a good night, everybody.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Bye. All right. Asia, I'm gonna go ahead and take it back over. So next we're gonna move into swearing in of the new senators. We did have two, but now it's only one. And that is the new at-large senator. I forgot, 1 second. Are they here? I don't see them in the group, in the participants list. Riley Corso. Oh, no. Riley's here. Riley, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. So basically, I'm going to say the oath and have you repeat after me, kind of. So I'm just going to go ahead and say it one time just so you have an idea of what it is. So it's going to be like, I state your name. So you'd say, I, Riley, or whatever you would like to go by. Pledge to uphold the Constitution of the Student Government Association of the University of North Carolina at Greensboro, and to do my best to fulfill all the duties and responsibilities given to me by the students to advocate, educate, and serve the student body. And so I will go over that piece by piece and have you repeat after me.
Okay.
All right. So I state your name.
I, Riley Corso,
Pledge to uphold
pledge to uphold
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the Student Government Association
of the Student Government Association
of the University of North Carolina at Greensboro,
of the University of North Carolina at Greensboro,
and to do my best
and to do my best
to fulfill all the duties
to fulfill all the duties
and responsibilities given to me by the students
given to me by the students
to advocate, educate, and serve the student body.
and serve the student body.
All right. Congratulations, Riley. You are now part of the Student Government Association.
Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move into our next piece of business. But Riley, if you have any questions at all, please don't feel hesitated to reach out to either Austin, myself, or anyone else in the organization.
All right. Thank you so much.
Of course. So we're gonna move into old business, and Edwin, if you'd like to go ahead and go over your piece of legislation once again. We don't have to read it again if anyone doesn't want to, but if they need to, that's completely fine.
Okay, Ollie, can you share your screen? So my computer's acting up right now.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Austin, could you give me host capabilities, please?
Should be good to go.
Thank you, Austin. Edmund, is this the wrong document?
Yeah, I think it should be the document that's in the shared drive.
Edmund, I did not see it in the drive.
Okay, I think the other one should
Under
work.
sent.
You said what?
I went under sent legislation, so.
All right, it's fine. I think the other one was the exact same, so I think it should work. All right, cool. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so if anyone wants Edmund to read it again, he can, or if not, we can go ahead and move into a period of questioning, then discussion, then voting.
I guess motion to go into discussion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, thanks, Anthony. If anyone has any any periods of, anything for period of discussion, drop an X in the chat. We have 5 minutes. If not, someone can make a motion to move into a period of voting.
Do you ask questions in discussion? Do you have a period of questions?
We could move back to a period of questioning if you'd like.
Okay, I missed it. No, it's fine.
Okay. If nobody has anything for discussion, if they can make a motion to move into voting, please. Anthony, do you have any questions? I mean, we can move back to questioning.
No, it's fine. I just wanted Ed to just give a little, just to make sure everybody's like clear of what it was. That's all.
Okay. I mean, Edmund, if you wanted to reintroduce it briefly, just because we have a new senator here, tonight, you can.
Yeah, so I can just talk about it real quick. So basically, I think I mentioned last meeting in the SOPs currently, there's a mention of annual reports. However, there's no real like definition to what an annual report is. And also my experience and other chair and exec cabinet experiences. When you come into the position, there's no real guidance. You're sort of like left out to dry in a sense. So this is sort of to alleviate that and to remove any confusion as to what happens when you come into your position. And it just lists out what the annual report is to be and sort of how it's to be handled and like who's going to give into. So when the next session comes into play, they'll sort of have a little bit of guidance on what to do. So the things that are included in said annual report is just a list of achievements from said position from the previous session, a list of contacts that were used by the previous session that may be of use to the new session, a personal like just a small little letter, just like of advice, describing challenges to your position, lessons that you learned, and sort of what your vision was for the position and sort of advice as to what you think that they should focus on from your experience. And then the annual report is just to be given to the historian, just so there's a record of it. So in theory, from like 5 years from now, they'll be able to access the annual report that we all write and then every other session leading up to their own session. Just so like there's some sort of guidance. So when people come into the position, they're not very confused. They're not looking like what in the world is going on. They sort of know, okay, this is what to expect. This is what I should do. And this is what I should focus on, and sort of also not repeat what has already been done.
Also, Edmund, would you want anyone to sponsor this?
Yeah, absolutely. If anyone wants to sponsor it, I'm definitely.
Hey, put me down as a sponsor.
That was Haas.
Haas, if you can, you could just type your name into the chat of how you want it to be put in. Chris wants to be added as a signatory. So yeah, if anyone wants to be added as a signatory or a sponsor, just add your name, how you would like it in the document. Edmund can do that while we're still moving on in discussion.
Oh, Ali, I think there was an X in the chat from Carmen.
Yes, Carmen.
Who's in charge that these transition reports get to the next administration?
So in the SOPs, already for Ledge Board, it's required that we give our annual reports to the vice president. So we'd still give it to the vice president, but in addition, we would give it to the historian. And then from that point on, it's up to the new administration to sort of hand them out and sort of ask who. It's also, if you want to, of course, you can hand it off to the new incoming chair if you so desire, but it'll be up to the vice president the incoming vice president and historian to get the transition papers out.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Paige, where would you like to have your name, sponsor or signatory?
It should be I think Paige would be a signatory.
Yeah. Wrong section. And then Leslie. Leslie, would you like to be a sponsor or a signatory?
Sponsor is fine.
Okay. We have 1 minute left, according to Jesse.
Don't forget Nicolette as well, Ali.
Okay.
And Carmen.
I just saw Carmen, yeah. Nicolette.
Time has been called since all the years are still writing their names. So I'm going to go ahead and send in the voting form while you finish that up.
Sounds good. Thank you. And Edmund, I have to change it to 9808 because that's the current it is.
Yeah, that works.
I think I included everyone. I'm not sure where the chat went. Where'd it go? There it is. I miss Jared. All right, so if all senators can please fill out the form.
Point of order.
Yes.
Motion to move into voting.
Second.
Thank you. I figured that we had to do that. I was in the midst of just typing. I apologize.
Just to clarify, technically you wouldn't have to motion because time will be called, and then the natural next thing would be to lead into voting, just to let you all know.
Thanks, Jesse.
Thank you, Jesse.
Not a problem.
We just need 3 more. Just waiting on 2 more senators. Please take your time.
Thank you to the individuals that have voted. If you haven't voted, I did direct message you, the two of you that haven't. So if you could please do that, that'd be great.
Just waiting on 2 more individuals. I also direct message them as well. Just 1 more. I believe there's some difficulty with permissions in the drive. 1 minute. I don't want to silence anyone's votes. I know we have 1 left, so I think this will give us 1 more minute. Okay, we're good to go.
Alrighty. In a vote of 20 to 0 to 0, the piece passes. Thank you all.
Thank you, Jesse. And thank you to everyone who voted. Moving into new business, there is a piece of legislation by Tyneja and Awa. If you'd like to share your screen, you can, or I could share my screen.
I'll share my screen, but I wanted to ask if you wanted us to read it or did you want us to summarize it?
That's up to the Senate, honestly, whatever they would like to do.
Okay.
Technically, you would start reading it until they make a motion for them to view it as read. And then you'll be able to give a 10-minute proponent speech. So basically like why you wrote the piece and like kind of what the piece says.
Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
The Student Senate of UNC Greensboro Student Government Association adopts the following bill/resolution. Whereas students on campus have always felt a great sense of diversity and inclusion amongst peers, but within the classroom is where they felt underrepresented. Our African American students haven't been able to see themselves in positions at professional level at UNC Greensboro. The needed representation is an important aspect for motivation for African American students. And whereas African American representation through teaching organizations were already limited prior to the UNC Asheville incident. Amidst the incident, campus encouragement of African American representation within the student body increased drastically, beginning with the students' personal engagement and also with the UNCG's racial equity webpage. And whereas devastating events in 2020 ignited more power in all people of color to take a forceful stance on the ideologies that matter the most to them. Diversity, inclusion, representation, and identity were all at the forefront of the continuing issues happening on and off campus. Whereas students contribute their earnings to UNC Greensboro, however, lack proper representation within the classroom. African American professors provide perspective on African American studies majors and the ongoing reality of racism within the professional environment. Therefore, be it enacted resolve that the Student Senate highly encourages the administration to hire more African Americans to more academic programs to better represent the student body that UNCG serves. This will provide adequate representation of African American students within the classroom environment via the inclusion of African American professors, promoting the inclusion through communication with the deans of each academic school.
Thank you.
And basically,
No,
do
go
I
ahead.
give?
Yeah.
So basically, we enacted this because we felt as if there was a lack of student representation within the classroom. And because of students' majors and certain career paths, they weren't getting the proper representation in order to better represent them as African American students or students of color within their environment. And this legislation will serve to create safe environments for people of color and Black students as well.
Thank you, Awa. And if that's all you have for that 10-minute period, we can motion this to be tabled until next week, just so we can have the second reading then and then have the voting.
Yeah, that's fine.
Could someone make a motion to do that, please? Edmund?
Motion to table this piece of legislation until next week for a second reading.
Okay, apparently we can also do a discussion and Q&A. I apologize. I just took a 2-hour exam and I'm all over the place. But we can do a discussion and question and answer if necessary this week, or we can move that to next week as well.
I second Edmund's motion.
Okay. Any dissent? Seeing none, we can move on with the rest of our agenda. Give me 1 minute. Austin, if you want to go ahead.
Sorry, I couldn't get the unmute to work. So yeah, what I've been up to is the Glenwood Urban Farm, reviewing government documents for the committee. Luckily, we were able to get through the Constitution this week, so that's nice. We failed. We had to reschedule the BLM video again. It will get done. Like, mark my words, we will finish it by sometime here soon. Just a bunch of little technical difficulties. You know, third time's a charm, like Irving said. But meeting with the chancellor, it was a really good discussion. So what we talked about was the graduation ceremony coming up. those who, I think everybody got the email, but I know graduates at least got the email, that there will be a it's called Cross the Quad. And it's basically an opportunity for, you to cross over a stage in front of the quad, have your picture taken, and, really like get that experience of graduating while also being socially distanced, being safe, and having a lasting memory with that. I think that's really cool, and I'm really happy that the admin had listened to students, took a bunch of advice, or not advice, but recommendations from students, and they were able to put this together while also being safe. So, kudos to the administration for that. We also talked about the Find Yourself Here initiative that Chancellor Gilliam was definitely supportive of. He definitely had a ton of questions, which we addressed, and I think we got a thumbs up there. And overall, it's a very good meeting with Chancellor Gilliam. Definitely, I appreciate those opportunities to get some insight and to hear more from him. But Governing Documents Review Committee was yesterday. That was really good. As I mentioned, we went through the Constitution. So I think Peyton, we will be starting on the SOPs, I think. So that should be fun. 43 pages of internal affairs. That'll be a lot of fun. And then I had a meeting with Milan about the SGA budget and what will be remaining at the end of the year. And I'll definitely be following up with him with more suggestions. So Ollie, if you want to skip ahead, and hopefully like next week, I'll actually have some type of picture to actually post. I'm sure shouting out one of my private Instagrams isn't something you all want to see every time. But Glenwood Urban Farm, hopefully tomorrow, hopefully the weather holds out. Still doing a diversity EDU for the provost search, recording for the Black Lives Matter video. We should be recording again this Thursday, assuming that the weather doesn't rain on us, and should be having an executive cabinet meeting this Friday. Hopefully we can get that scheduled out. That way we can have it, and then meeting with the Public Arts Committee about having some type of mural for either Black Lives Matter, the plots for NPHC, discussing those ideas and how viable they would be to have on campus. But other than that, that should be what my next week looks like. If you have any questions, I can definitely take those right now. If you don't have any questions, then I'll go back to sitting here. But yeah, no questions. If none, then I will go ahead and be quiet. Thanks, y'all. Have a great one.
Thank you, Austin. Peyton.
Hey y'all, I hope everyone's having a good week so far. My virtual office hours are still 10:45 to 12:30 Tuesday and Thursday, 8 to 11 Wednesday and Friday. Just email me if you need the Zoom link. If you need anything, if you have anything that I can address, or if you can't make it to one of those times, we can definitely set up an appointment after hours. Just let me know. My cell number is right there. You can always text me, my email as well. So what I've been up to, Geek Week planning has been a little bit hectic, but it's all good. Conduct team recruitment, the link is up in the OSRR Instagram. I'll also drop it in the chat if anyone is interested. I know I say this every week, but if anyone would like to reach out about conduct team, I'm more than happy to sit down and have a chat with you about what we're all about and see if it's something that you want to apply for. We have a conduct team meeting, had a conduct team meeting on the 22nd, executive council meeting last week as well. I had a meeting with Meredith and with Robert Barker and the OSRR. Had a meeting on Friday with Juwan and Kaylee about governing docs. The governing docs meeting, like Austin mentioned, on Monday, we wrapped up the Constitution, which is really awesome. We're moving on to the SOPs next, like he said. And then I didn't put this on there, but I also joined the Name and Pronoun Selection Advisory Committee out of the Chancellor's office. So I'm really looking forward to working with the OIE on that. And my quote of the week is from Maya Angelou. It says, "You should be angry, but you must not be bitter. Bitterness is like a cancer. It eats upon the host. It does nothing to the object. It doesn't do anything to the object of its displeasure. So use that anger, write it, paint it, dance it, march it, vote it. You do everything about it. You talk it. Never stop talking it. And what's coming up? Executive council meeting tomorrow, conduct team recruitment. Like I said, the application's open and that will go through March 20th or so. Then we'll do interviews after that. Governing docs committee meeting on the 7th. Meetings with Austin, Ali, Meredith, Dr. Craig as needed. A meeting with Dr. Craig tomorrow morning to talk about grad school. I'm really excited. Have more OSRR meetings next week and more honors interviews because I'm on a honors interview like scholarship selection committee. So that's been a really great experience. Thanks everyone. Reach out if you need anything and I hope you have a great week.
Thank you, Peyton. I, like Austin, do not have any pictures as well. Haven't had time to do so. Office hours wise, they're the same. It might change honestly, just with how many exams I've had in this past week and this following week coming up, the rest of the week. What I've been up to, governing docs committee meeting, as they both mentioned. We did finish the Constitution finally, so hopefully we will wrap up the SOP as fast as we can. I know 43 pages is a lot to get through, but I feel like with the new tactic we have coming to the meetings prepared before, with the comments already have been made, I feel we'll get through it in a couple of meetings. Working with Sergeant Joyner, as well as Edmund and Detective Shahzad with the PD department and Chief Lester as well, about having a more inclusive campus. There'll be more about that next week. I'm waiting on a response from them. We had a really good meeting with them this past Wednesday, I believe it was. Executive council meetings per weekly, Silver Leadership Challenge, which I've been working on every week. Finally getting more into my internships. So I'm looking at one with Duke this summer with a neurosurgeon, which is the field that I want to go into. One-on-one with Merve, that was really good. We talked about a lot of inclusivity within SGA and things of that nature, and some concerns that she had that she shared with me. Scholarship meetings, I'm in the UNCG Guarantee Program, which I mentioned like bi-weekly because I go to those meetings bi-weekly. And then I had, I believe, 4 exams, 3 labs, and about 4 or 5 tests in the past like 5 or 6 days. So I'm definitely looking forward to the mental health day tomorrow, even though I still have a quiz assignment that's due tomorrow. So I'm probably gonna knock that out tonight. So I actually have a day off. And I hope you all take that day off as well. What's coming up? Governing Docs Committee meeting Monday, planning more outreach initiatives, continuing Silver, scholarship meetings, working on internships and shadowing. I have a one-on-one Milan this Thursday, I believe. Executive council meeting on Wednesday. That actually is canceled. I'll take that back because tomorrow's a mental health day. Working on code-related issues and then meeting with Austin and Peyton as needed. And as always, if you need anything, feel free to contact me. Moving into Senator Forum, any senator can speak up to 2 minutes on anything pertaining to SGA. Let's drop an excellent chat, please. Irving.
Ali, do you know if there's a second Health and Wellness Day on the calendar, or was this the only one?
To my knowledge, after the meetings that I've had with the chancellor, it's just this one, and then they'll have Reading Day. That also counts as a mental health wellness day, and I believe maybe one more that they're looking at, but it's definitely not going to be. Meredith said there's a spring holiday in April, yeah, and it's definitely not going to be on a Friday or a Saturday, just to I mean, not Friday or Saturday, a Thursday or a Friday to navigate around having a long weekend and people going places where they shouldn't because of COVID. But definitely, I think Meredith said there's one more in April.
Well, I know a lot of students, and I myself still have a crap ton of assignments due tomorrow. And, the chancellor talked about like emailing, the provost sending an email out, but like how much like say does the provost have, if that makes sense? Like, is that something that the provost can mandate? Or will we be stuck with assignments tomorrow?
Meredith, could you speak on that, please? Because I know I still have assignments due tomorrow as well.
I know that the chancellor or the provost sent something out to faculty. Dr. Craig might have more information because I didn't see that email. But I honestly don't know at what point the provost can step in. But I'll let Dr. Craig answer if she has anything.
Yeah, my understanding is that the provost is able to strongly advise, but what I would like is for those of you who do have a lot of assignments, if you could shoot me an email, because if it's supposed to be your one day of wellness and relaxation, I think it is a shame if you don't receive it at all. So if you could send me some emails with the classes that you're having this in and all of that, I'll see what I can do as far as getting a better understanding of what was understood by the faculty, if that makes any sense. But let me see what I can do from my side. There's no way I can definitely say your assignments aren't due tomorrow, but because they will be due. But I will look into why you all are receiving assignments and why things are due in a day that was clearly designated as a day to be a day of like rest and like just a rest day. So I'll look into that.
Thank you, Dr. Craig. I appreciate that. I know we all do. Anthony.
Yeah, can I get, I'm a motion to suspend the 2-minute rule.
Yeah, could I have a second on that? Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. And then is anyone dissent? Seeing none. And
All right, thank you. So I have a few things that I want to address. I think it would take a little bit more than 2 minutes. They span to a lot of different topics. So the very first one, the Finance Committee and I, and along with Milan, were discussing, because Gia brought up a point a few meetings ago of using travel allocation to do an additional amount to give to student organizations if they needed additional funding. Right now, we've only ever had this semester one student organization to request travel allocations, and that was added up to about $900. And we still have plenty more to go. And I just wanted to throw that out to Senate to see if anybody had any pros and cons for that, or if they had any questions. It's not anything official. Just wanted to put that out there and see where everybody's heads and minds were. If nobody has any questions, comments, or concerns about it, that's okay. I was just making sure everybody's feeling that. If nobody has any questions, I'll move on to my second one. So, yes, I am.
Saheem.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, so my question is, so for the groups that wants the funding, all they have to do is just fill out an application or just email you to ask?
Well, no, so this was just a preliminary, just to see what the Senate and SGA thought about it. It's nothing official yet. I didn't want to get in the process and then have everything finalized and then it would be, shot down by the rest of the Senate.
Oh, okay, my bad.
No, you're fine. It's a good question. If there's no more questions pertaining to that, my second thing was last week we had the executive council was talking about how there's always drama started and how people aren't doing their work. And when people are saying that your work, you're not doing anything, it can be pretty discouraging. So instead of saying things that aren't really helpful, I would like to be a part of the solution and give solutions to how we can be more productive, in the executive council's eyes, because I believe a lot of people are doing a lot of work. It just, sometimes isn't, go unnoticed. So one thing that I had was a town hall, and I would like a lot of people to join the more. And I had a good meeting with Kendall yesterday, and she liked the idea. The more people from SG that we had in the town hall, it might be able to bring more attention to it and more students. And the main topic that was, and it's a general topic, is how we can better help and serve you individually, because I'm sure if, a particular student is dealing with a certain issue, that other people are dealing with issues as well. And also for the surplus, if there is any, which I'm sure there will be after talking to Milan, any ideas how they want to see that spent, how we can use it to ensure that they have a good rest of the semester, and also if they're coming back next semester. they're able to do that. Yeah, go ahead, Malone.
Thanks, Anthony. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted
You're
to
fine.
echo regarding the surplus. I will be sending an email to the members of the student government just to gather information about different financial initiatives or big ticket items that or programs that you feel are beneficial to the student body, so that I can begin to do the research and we can begin to kind of look at how we can move around funds that we have excess available to us already. So that we're able to do some of those initiatives. I know that the executive initiative budget, the ledge initiative budget, many committee budgets, and the general SGA initiatives budget are all still looking pretty full. And so I just wanted to move us into a space of thinking about some bigger picture items. And I'm having one-on-ones with each of the executive council members this week, but next week. And then I would like to get y'all's feedback on kind of bigger project items. I have a few that I will be getting your perspective on, likely at next meeting when I kind of have a more put together presentation, just to see where our heads are at so that we can kind of do some bigger things. I know Senator Gayton has a lot of big things that we've talked about that we can put forward for the students with this excess budget. I'm not going to provide an exact estimate of the surplus budget, as I don't believe in the rule of predicting, but I do believe that you will have a significant amount of money to facilitate initiatives for students with.
Thank you, Malone. And so I'm asking if anyone would like to be in that town hall. I'll form a group chat, so that way we can start, picking dates and getting people ready so we can have that and have student participation so that's well as known to students. So if you're interested in doing that, can you drop a T in the chat so I can see it and write your name down? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm down for everybody being there. Okay, yeah, that works. I was just gonna get a group chat so that we're all on the same page when it did come. But if that's it, I think I got everybody. And then I have two more and then I'll be done. So also another thing, like we like in SGA, we don't have a lot of, good communication is why there can be like, stir up with drama and things like that. And a lot of people don't know what a lot of people are doing. So, and this is open to anybody in SGA, any senator, but I'd like to have a meeting with, the chairs of committees. So that way we can all work together and everybody can talk about what they're working on. And so everybody has a unique understanding of what they're doing. So if somebody asks you, well, they're not doing anything, or what are they doing? I'll be able to say, well, Senator, I actually just talked to Senator Gayton and he's doing X, Y, and Z. I think having that type of communication will better, our ability to work together. That's one thing that I want to do. And anybody, and any senator, anybody in SGA is welcome to join that as well. And then also my final point here is basically to go off what Milan was talking about with initiatives and things like that. I think it would be unique if we all partnered together. And me and Kendall had a conversation about this yesterday, that the reason that some things in SGA might not get done is because generally people might not know how to do or go about it. So if, we can partner up with 2 to 3 senators, we can like form groups and bounce ideas and show people how, go about doing like certain initiatives and things like that. So, I'm actually going to try to start that. And I'll be reaching out to everybody individually, especially the senators, so that way we can, start linking people with other senators. So it's a lot easier for people to do initiatives, because it can be like overwhelming and tiresome if people are doing things on their own, and an extra set of hands or 2, well, technically it would be 4, because everybody has 2, well, 9, but it would be more, the more people, the better. But that concludes everything I was going to say. I thank y'all for letting me suspend that 2-minute rule, and y'all have a good night.
Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate you joining the part of this organization and trying to solve a lot of these problems that we've been having. And I definitely look forward to working with you and all the other senators whenever that is. Any other senators? I know that Taylor retracted her X. Let me see. If anyone else has anything for Senator Forum, just drop an X to make sure I didn't miss you. Seeing none, we can go ahead and move into announcements. Saheem and Milan, is this for Senator Forum or announcements?
I'm not a senator.
Yeah, I forgot about that, Milan. Go ahead, Saheem.
Hey everyone, funny, I was about to say the same thing. I'm not a senator either, but as everyone should know, I'm the ASG liaison. So ASG is planning our advocacy day. Our date is March 22nd, which is a Monday. I want to say it's like 3 Mondays away from now. But I just want to go ahead and give you all a generalized outlook on what that day is going to look like. So first, to start off, our town hall will be from 3:30 to 4:30 with some speakers such as Dr. Jennifer Whitney, the Director of Student Counseling. And let me back up real quick. The theme of our ASG Advocacy Day is mental health. So with Dr. Whitney being the Director of Student Counseling on campus, as well as her partner, Jamie Stevens, they will be just talking about some important ways that students can manage their mental health, as well as what resources are available. I'm also putting together gift bags that will be including stress balls, phone cases, I think a pen and hand sanitizer, which I will start putting those all in gift bags starting this week. So if anyone wants to help, just let me know. But after that, I will be getting with Dr. Akins and Dr. Craig once again, just to see what they would like to do in this event, as well as just to gauge what's going on mentally for the students. This is a big thing that's happening on all 17 university campuses. So I'm asking that we all show out and just be able to tell all of our constituents. Once I have a flyer made, I will put it in the chat, and it will also be posted on the XGA page. And that's basically it. If there's any questions, just let me know.
Thank you, Saheem. Milan, you can go ahead.
Good evening, Senate. I just wanted to provide an update regarding last week's student group programming week. Irving and I and Irving's committee will be working to recreate a roundtable discussion for student leaders. It will be hosted on the first Tuesday in April. I don't recall the date, but whatever the first Tuesday in April is. I'll also follow up with an email to all of you regarding this matter, but we'd like to focus on transitional student organization leaders, meaning the transitions between their current administration moving into their next year's administration. Most of the topics will be the same, and we'll be doing a more strategic outreach effort that we may be tapping into you all and your personal friendship and professional networks to help us spread the word about that. So please be on the lookout for that information.
Thank you, Milan. Peyton?
Hey y'all, I put the link to the conduct team application in the chat a few minutes ago, but I'm gonna just stick it in the chat again for anyone else that needs it. You can also email me for it. I just, again, encourage everyone to apply. Also, second of all, I had mistakenly told you all that the registration for Link Conference was closed. I think at the last meeting I said that. They've reopened that registration. So I encourage everyone who is interested to register for that because it's coming up. Thank you.
Thanks, Peyton. I actually was going to apply for that, and I was talking to Zach Bell in OIE, and he told me that it closed last Friday. Did it get extended?
I believe it did, but I will double check on that.
Please let me know, because I did have some case studies already worked up for it, and I kind of just didn't have time with all my quizzes and exams to sign up for that. So that would definitely be awesome if you can get that information to me.
No, you're fine. I'm looking at the email right now. Sorry, just to respond to you, Ollie. And it looks like the registration for like being a presenter closed on Friday, but it does say that like if you're still interested in presenting, you can still reach out, and it's possible they'll be able to accommodate you. And then the registration for just students who are wanting to attend and listen in, I believe, is still open.
Okay, thanks, Peyton. Paige.
Hi, everyone. So as you all know, the safety walk is coming up next Wednesday, and that's March 10th, and it's from 6 to 8. This is actually like a bigger safety walk than I guess you could say we've had in the last 2 years that I've been here for it. So I think they're having about 9 teams and 2 SGA people on each team. So that's about like 18 SGA people. Now, I'm not sure if we can get that many, SGA people, but we can also mix in UNCG students with that. But if you are free, please come out, please support. We've definitely talked about being intentional and making sure that all students have accessibility. And this is the time to do so and to make a difference. And it's from 6 to 8 on March 10th. Thank you.
Thanks, Paige. I'll be in contact with you. Taylor.
Hi, everyone. So with the Health and Wellness Day being tomorrow, the Center for Student Wellbeing is having a Health and Wellness Day at Piney Lake from 12 to 2. And we'll have like just a bunch of different activities that y'all can do, like yoga, aromatherapy. So yeah, come on out if you have time.
Thank you, Taylor. Anyone else for announcements? Just drop an X in the chat and I'll call on you. Also, shout out to Peyton's conduct team application one more time in the chat. Anyone else? Going once, twice. Asia, if you wouldn't mind doing a German roll call, please.
Okay, doing it now.
Thank you.
Okay, all good.
Thank you, Asia. I'm going to go ahead and adjourn this meeting at 9:08 p.m. Thank you, everyone. And if you need to contact anyone or myself, please do. And I'll see you all next week.